Hello, beauties. I'm Africa Archield. I'm so excited to be here today because we are going to stop overthinking. I know you are probably tired of it. So let me just get on with this checklist of items just to make sure we are definitely tracking here. And yes, I have notes. It's alive. Otherwise, I'll go all over the place. All right. Overthinking checklist. You've changed your offer 3 times. The offer name. How many times have you changed it? 3, 4, 5, more? I know I really stand against this. You've edited the same reel 4 times. You're like going over it, going over it. Let me know if that is you. Let me know in the chat if any of these overthinking things might be you. You've launched, or rather, almost launched for over 6 months. Maybe you have written things, whether they're PDFs or whatever, and you've got it almost done, and then you jump to another thing because you think maybe that one would be better. Let me try that one. You just keep going all over the place. That's overthinking, my friend. You're trying to think through this thing too hard for too long. And that just leads to chaos and definitely leads to lack of clients because you're not clear yourself, right? You can't get clients when you're doubting every single move that you're making. It just doesn't work that way. And I want today to help you move past that because I know you need clients. You're here to do great work in the world, right? You're a spiritual entrepreneur. So that is what you're put here to do. You know it. I know it. So we need to get it done so we can get out there and get really clear. When I say really clear, clear enough for you to move forward. Hello, Jinx. It is good to see you here. And again, if there's other things that you realize you're like, oh, wow, that's me. And I also overthink in this way, let me know because I want to make that list of all the ways we overthink. Because sometimes we might not even think it's overthinking. So let me know in the comments. I'll be looking forward to seeing them. All right. So one of the things as we jump into this, I have made a workbook. Activate your client magnetism. In there, I do go into some techniques on getting clear because I want you to be able to get your next 2 to 5 clients inside of a week. Like that's my goal for you. And I want you to do it without stressing the F out because that's so good either. So like I said, in the comments, I want you to start writing down the ways that you know you overthink. I just gave you a few. But it's important, and we're getting into the meat of this right now. It's important to recognize your own overthinking patterns. That's why I'm saying write them down, share them, because others, a lot of times, this is just a way we've been taught to think. Okay, we're running on what I call presuppositions. They're things that we learned when we were very young, ways of doing things, patterns that we picked up from looking around at what others were doing, and we just took them on to be true, right? Whether they're true or not. And I know we're all, high vibe, right? I like to think of myself as a high vibe person. And you are too. But these things still run in our subconscious. And when we bring them out to the light, we can set them aside and see them for the falsehoods they really are. Right? It's one of those things where I would say you might have heard, if you're not putting in hard work, if anything's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Oh my gosh, that's a beautiful one. If anything is worth doing, it's worth doing right. And that's what leads you to a lot of this overthinking. Let me know if that's one of the ones that you heard when you were growing up that you have to do hard work to get paid. That's another one. But right now, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. And right to many of us means perfect, absolute perfection. That's why you see yourself changing that reel and editing it 4, 5, 6, 20 times, because you think you have to be perfect. Because if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Hey, Emil, it's good to see you. Yeah, I mean, it's a scary thing, and it's an overthinking pattern. There's something I learned, I think, more late in life than early in life. So if you're early in life, you know you get to get this one early. That instead of it's worth doing right, it's worth getting it to 80%. Because better done than perfect. That's one that I learned. Better done than perfect. So when you have a lot of half-written things because they're not perfect and so you can't get them to that level of perfection, 80% there gets it done. And when I say I learned that later in life, I was going through my PhD program when I heard that. It was from my chair, my dissertation chair, who was tired of me hoarding material they needed to review because I was concerned it wasn't perfect. And she's like, just give me your draft. I don't care how imperfect it is. And then she passed it. And I'm like, but it's not. She's like, your perfect is something that others will not even obtain. This is good enough to move forward. So that reel, that ad, that piece of writing that you want to put on Medium or whatever it is, that PDF that you want to put out there to sell, whatever it is it 80% done? Congratulations, put that thing out there. It doesn't need to be perfect. Stop overthinking it. Stop trying to re-engineer things. I know one of the big things we say, especially when you're trying to market yourself, because boy, a lot of overthinking comes in that way, doesn't it? That to get inside the head of your divine right client, you might hear target market or ideal client. I say divine right client. And when you get into their head, then it's going to be so much easier to market to them. So there again, perfectionism starts to creep in, right? Because you think I have to be perfect in order to get into their head and understand them perfectly so that I can market myself. No, my friend, you just need to go out there and market yourself. And over time, this is the thing, when you go out there 80% done, right? Or you go out there with another term you might hear is MVP, minimal viable product, right? When you go out with that thing, guess what? You get to perfect it over time with those people that you're trying to help, right? So the second thing we need to do, there's 5 things we need to do, by the way. Just FYI, there's 5 things we need to do in order to just break this loop, okay? So the first one is recognizing your own overthinking patterns. That's why it's so important, why I said put them in the comments. The second thing we need to do is to get into action. Because overthinking is just you swirling around in chaos, right? And so when you get into action, you start moving out of chaos. And I know one of those first things you're going to say is, but what if I don't know what to do? What if I don't know which direction to go? So I'm going to tell you what the Cheshire Cat told Alice. It doesn't much matter which way you go if you don't know where you're going. The point is to move. And like a GPS, you will be course corrected. That course correction comes through putting out that information, whether it's a post, ad, a product. Once you put it out there and you start getting feedback, you will course correct on the direction you're going in accordance with that feedback. Otherwise, you're just sitting and swirling in chaos. Action, getting into action is key. It doesn't matter. If you got 5 half-done projects, randomly pick one. And when I say randomly pick one, if you have to, because I know many of us will sit and we will meditate And we will pull cards and we'll do all these things trying to discern which is the best way, the most perfect way to go where I cannot fail. You will fail. Failure is important. It is part of the process. We're here for a smoother road for sure. But a road without failure gives us no contrast. Inside of failure is a lot of learning, a lot of what to do right and what to do wrong, right? There's a lot that we can learn in failure. And sometimes in failure comes inspiration to tweak to launch us to the next thing. Do not be afraid to fail. You are using the meditations, your crystals, your cards as like crutches, as barriers, so you don't have to move forward and you can continue in the swirl of chaos. So if you have to, use the random number generator. Like if you got 7 half-done projects and you're like, I don't know which one of these things I'm going to go with that'll help me in my business. Use the random number generator and have it generate a number between 1 and 7. And list those things 1 to 7 on a piece of paper. Hit that button 3 times. Whatever number it lands on, you do. Do not sit and swirl in chaos. You get stuck there because you find more reasons not to move forward because you're already in the midst of overthinking. Okay? Get into action. The third thing. Oh no, you feel Jinx feels absolutely called out. All right. You can use prompts to clarify your focus. That's our third thing. You can use prompts to clarify your focus. I have a lot of these prompts inside of Activate Your Client Magnetism because it is important. I find that the other way is to journal, right? That's a wonderful way to figure out what you want to do. Like I said, but if you've been going long enough, hit that random number generator. I'm not lying there. But to clarify focus, especially in writing or whatever, you find the more you write, the clearer you get. You usually get less clear, right? Your mind starts to say, oh, this is the thing we're focusing on now. Okay, let me put it in on that. Or intuitively, you start getting more downloads. So your writing, right, might look like literal physical writing on paper, right? You might have a notebook like this. So you're physically writing on paper. It might look like you dictating into your voice notes app. What I'm saying here is getting pretty stream of consciousness. And this is something I haven't done in a while, but I used to do every day. So what I'm sharing is it's not that it doesn't work or hypothetical. I think it works really well. One of the things I would do, and this is really a clarifier, I would write down everything I was grateful for. Write in a notebook. The first thing I would do when I wake up is I write down everything I was grateful for. And I would push, so I wrote down 10 good things that I was grateful for. And sometimes that was hard. Sometimes I was writing down, I have air to breathe. I have clean water to drink. Like, put 10 things that you're grateful for. Then I write down 10 things or more, or whatever it was, a paragraph. What is it that I yearn for? What is it that I want? And sometimes, let's be frank, we're not super clear about what we want. So I would write until what I wanted would actually come out. Like what I wanted, not what my spouse wanted, or my parents wanted, or my children wanted, but what actually I wanted. And sometimes I had to write quite a long time for that to come out. But as I made this practice something that I did, it became easier to identify my wants separate from what I'm supposed to do or what I have to do or what everyone else needed. Okay? Then the last thing that I would write down as my prompt, I would say source, angels, universe, God, the divine, like whatever. Like I'm not here to tell you what to call the divine. I say divine, right? I'm not here to tell you what to call it, but I say, okay, divine, what is it that you would have me do today? And I would just start writing. And there came even more clarity, more focus, more of what needed to get done. It was important to do those other two at the beginning. Gratitude and attitude of gratitude just started to open me up, right? When we're writing down all of our gratitude, we start to see opportunity more easily and get more clarity on what we need to do or want to do. And then I had to write down my want. So I actually got down to me. And then I turned around to the universe, source, to angels, to your guides, and asked, what is it that you would have me do? Boy, the answers were dramatic and crazy and things I would have never thought of on my own. That is using prompts to clarify your focus, to pull out the answers that you need. So I would say, if you're having trouble, you're like, Africa, I'm not doing the random number generator. I don't have an idea yet, right? This might be your way to use these prompts. Gratitude, getting super clear on what you want, not what other people want, need, or have put on you. And then asking the divine, what would you have me do? All right. So thanks for the hearts. I saw hearts like out of the corner of my eye. Thank you. Okay. So the next thing we're going to work on is you need to ground your energy, right? You need to ground. I have so many videos on grounding, meditations on grounding. I got a lot of them. I'll have to remember to put them in the description. But there's tons of them everywhere. Like, of course, I want you to go look at mine, but there's a lot of them. I have beautiful grounding things that are audios that you can get. Step Into Her is amazing. But I have a lot of them. Go get them. The other thing, if you're like, I don't want to be around technology, I'm good with that, right? Go and get outside. Take off your shoes on some actual grass. If you can't get the grass, maybe you're around sand. If you can get yourself into a living body of water, do that. These are all things that will ground you. Hug a tree. I know, I grew up and my parents said I was a hippie too late for the movement, right? Go hug a tree. There's something about trees, mountains, actual getting your feet on the earth. These are all things that will ground you, things that will enlighten you, things that will allow you to sigh and release all the garbage and blocks inside of you. Okay? Oh, thank you, Yamil. No, I work hard on this because they're fun to do and I listen to them myself. So I'd like to say I made them for you, but I think I made them a little bit for me too. All right. So, ground. That's going to be a beautiful way to get clear and to release the chaos. Okay? The fifth thing is reclaiming your confidence. And I don't mean confidence in a boastful way. I mean that calm confidence of knowing yourself and therefore knowing what to do. That calm confidence of, I know where my North Star is, and I'm going to keep going there. Right? And whatever that, and I say North Star, there's other terms for it. If I was like talking to you about astrology, I would say, what's your North Node? That's your growth edge, right? Whatever that thing is, that big gift, that big thing you're bringing into the world, that knowledge that's downloading, whatever it is, let that be your North Star. Your North Star can change over time, right? Because we can achieve the stretch of our North node and then fall back into our South node to get even bigger boost there and then go even further in our North node. But I'm not getting all astrology right now. What I am saying is this, whatever your North Star is. So my North Star is shifting the socioeconomic paradigm so everyone can rise. That's huge for me. And there's so many different ways to achieve that. But guess what? If I start to veer off of that North Star, everything that I'm doing inside my business is to achieve that goal. And so it becomes really easy to get clear when I'm approached to do something. Does that achieve that goal? Will that help? Will me doing this help shift the socioeconomic paradigm so everyone can rise? Yes or no? And if it's a no, then I don't need to do it. So what's your North Star? My calm confidence comes from I know that's what I was brought here to do. To help. I'm a cog in the machine in that capacity, and I'm okay with that. Because that's a giant pie that I could not fulfill alone. But I can give people tools to fill that purpose. And that's what I've chosen to do. I believe in my heart of hearts that women will change the world. That women do not hoard resources. And like I am talking statistically here. Women don't hoard resources. They actually go out and spread their resources through the community. They circulate money, right? Every woman who achieves a six-figure business or more is always hiring other women or other people. And statistically, that is true, more so than men. They'll achieve 100, go over six figures, over 100,000, and they still won't hire. They're still not trying to help support someone else in the community by hiring people. But women do. There is an onus, or there's something in women that makes us want to go out and act in community to lift not only ourselves up, but to lift others up, realizing that, a rising tide lifts all ships. But it's true. We're not trying to war with each other. We're trying to support each other. Literally today, as I was putting on makeup to come on camera, I got a message on Facebook Messenger from another woman business owner who's amazing, who said, "Hey, I'm working with this client and they're having trouble with this. Can you help them out? Because I know you have expertise here." Women supporting women. Every time. Every time. So what are you doing? What's your North Star? Do other people know what your North Star is? Do other people know what you do in your business? Like, literally put it in here. What is it that you do? Let other people know in the chat. What is it you do? What's your North Star? Like, what's your big aim and what is it that you do? Having that big lofty goal really, really helps you stay clear. And I swirl in chaos. I'm not going to lie. I swirl in chaos. And every time I swirl in chaos, I can remember that thing. I'm here to shift the socioeconomic paradigm so everyone can thrive. And I remember that. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is my way out of chaos. I do know where I'm going. And I know you know where you're going too. All right. So Jake says, I think I know what my North Star is, but I'm not actually sure. Lean into what you think it is. Lean heavily into what you think your North Star is. Because if it isn't that, trust me, you will be course corrected. Right? So just keep walking the walk, keep that your eyes open, continue to serve, continue to grow. And if for some reason that isn't it, you'll know. But that you think it is, it probably is. Okay? All right, so I'm a writer. My goal is to get people clarity faster by reading fictional situations. They're similar to their reality to gain said clarity. Yeah, that makes total sense. That's how you're serving, right? I'm serving by working with women entrepreneurs who are mystics, who are service based, but all of us who really are spiritually and socially conscious, right? That's who I work with. And that working with them, what I'm trying to do is shift the socioeconomic paradigm. Your big lofty goal actually is to help people get clarity faster. Now I would say, why? Why do they need to get clarity faster? I mean, there's some obvious reasons, right? But why is that true for you? So for me, saying I want to shift the socioeconomic paradigm, why? So everyone can thrive. That's a big lofty, right? Is your big lofty around clarity? How you're serving, how you are doing that is through your writing, through your fictional writing. It's kind of like, I don't know what George Lucas's big lofty goal is because I haven't researched him. I don't know. But through his film, right, through Star Wars, he really was, it was really a social commentary about several things going on at the time. Now I can't remember which war was going on. It was kind of like guerrilla, and it was, I think, when we were first really introduced to guerrilla warfare, is when he really started talking about this. So, and that's what the rebels did, and they were going after these strong authoritarian people, and people see themselves as the rebels. They rarely see themselves as the empire, right? And they start to learn lessons from that and apply it to their own life. So I could see what you're saying, how you're using fiction to help people move through situations. All right. You said, for me, I hate that it takes so long, but I get big hits from reading and I want to be part of that. Yeah. Because you can see yourself. A lot of people saw themselves in Star Wars. A lot of people saw themselves in, I'm just thinking more sci-fi, and Star Trek and Firefly and all these other shows. As well as, like, oh my gosh, I'm really going to date myself, Dallas and Dynasty and Falcon Crest. Those are really big when I was a kid. And I don't watch TV now to know what it might be. But it might be something like, oh, there was a show I watched recently I thought was interesting. High Potential. Maybe they see themselves as that genius, neurodivergent cleaner who's just like so done with the police not being able to figure out their cases. And yet really can't keep a job either because a little scattered. I saw like 3 episodes, so I hope I'm saying what the show is properly. So going back, people do see themselves in the characters they watch and in the characters they read. That's why Harry Potter was so popular. Artemis Fowl. I'm trying to think, what was that other one? Rick Riordan's. He has 2 series, and for whatever my brain is blanking out on both. One with Egyptian mythology, one with Greco-Roman mythology, right? And people see themselves in those characters because those characters have real situations that happen, even in the fantastical worlds that they're in. They are in real life situations. So yeah, I think it's great. I think it's good to do. But when I'm talking North Star, you're talking about how you're going to deliver on that North Star. But what is driving you to help people get clarity through fiction? Other than it's something that helped you. And guys, that's okay. If it's something that's helped you in the past, so many people create their business on, I had this problem and I don't want anyone else to have this problem. Or if they do have this problem, I want them to get going 50 times faster than I did. I don't want them to have to be on the struggle bus with this issue. Okay, congratulations, that's your North Star and how you're going to do things. So I would ask you, thank you, Jinx, Percy Jackson, the Kane Chronicles. So I'd ask you, Jinx, is that your North Star? It's just you had such a hard time with clarity in the past, and you don't want other people to have that issue. I would ask you to get a little bit more specific, clarity around XYZ, right? And then let that be your North Star. Let that be what your characters work through in your books, at least one of them, right? There can be other things they're working through and getting clarity on and experiencing and taking the hero's journey, right? The hero's journey is really about getting clarity. I know in writing, a lot of people talk the hero's journey, and there's other ones, but that's one that I know. So I hope that was helpful. I should have said at the top, if anyone had questions, you can always pop them into the chat because I will answer them. I'm here for you. That's why I'm live. I've been messing doing lives, and luckily, thank you. Everything works again because it wasn't working before, and I had to do several tests. So next time I come on live, I'm going to bring on the iPad or my phone or whatever, because I actually do want to do some trainings. I want to like go click, 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 step by step when we are doing things. So is there something, whether it's a tech thing, because I can get real techie with it. If it's a tech thing, a social media thing, whatever it is that you think, I really need this for my business, because I know that's what's going to help me contribute and start with this shift as well. So I hope you join me in that movement. Let me know in the comments below because I will definitely get to that. That might be one of the next things I do. But the other thing I want to say, go get the workbook. I have more clarity questions in there, and you're going to love it. You're going to love getting those clients in. You're going to love the clarity, and it's going to help you launch your next thing, because that's what it's about. It's going to help you launch into your own visibility, right? Because you've got to get yourself out there. And if you stop the overthinking, you're going to find that you are so freaking magnetic, people can't help but to see you. And that, my love, is going to be incredible. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Please hit that like button as well, because I would love for you to know, oh, this is subscribe, the bell, yes, the bell, right? Make sure you turn on notifications, because I plan on going live every week now. Like, now I got the setup working again. I'm going to be going live every week, and I want you to know when I go live. I'll give you a reminder if you are on my list. I'll email you and let you know, but definitely if you ring the bell for notifications, you will know when I go live. Now I'll be doing trainings every single week. Will I do a training next week? I'll be traveling. If I could get my setup working, we'll be doing a training next week. All right. So, other thing I want to say. Oh, yeah, the link is at the top of the description. And when I ever get to the pinned comment, it will be there too for Activate Your Client Magnetism. The other thing I want to say is, once you watch this video, you start going through the 5 things, you recognize your overthinking patterns, you shift into action. Just think about the Cheshire Cat. You use prompts to clarify your focus, and I gave you those prompts. You ground yourself, right? You ground, and you reclaim your calm focus. So you've gone through those 5 things. You're like, I'm feeling really good, but things maybe aren't taking off the way you want. I promise you right now, it likely isn't your content. So check out the video. I'll have it around here somewhere when this goes through post. And it is all about why your spiritual business isn't taking off. And I think you're going to love it. So yeah, I'll have it in the description as well. And with that, because I don't see any other questions, peace, joy, love. to you. Have a wonderful day.